We recently updated our kitchen by painting it white for a nice modern farmhouse look. And now the woman wants to continue on with our breakfast nook here. So today we're going to create a faux shiplap look that's quick and cheap, but always good.
To start out, we've got a few good things going for us. The trim on the nook is rather deep, and the area we need to cover is about 84 inches by 3 feet, which means one 4x8 sheet of plywood is just enough to tackle this project. Looking for something cost-effective, light, and that looks good, we go with 1/4 inch sanded birch plywood and use a table saw to cut the sheets lengthwise into 6-inch planks. Trim the boards to fit by making very slow cuts with a circular saw, and then the boss smooths out the rough edges and the front with an electric sander. After all the boards are prepped, it's time to prep the inside.
Now, of course, we're going to be covering most of this up with our 6-inch plywood planks, but we're going to be painting it before, so we want to get rid of all this grease and grime that you can see there. So we're going to be using this. Now, you can use TSP. We're using a TSP substitute. You could also use something like a crud cutter, anything that's going to get that grease off and allow that paint to stick. So we actually wiped off all the TSP. You got to wipe that stuff off. And then we also want to prepare the wood trim that is not going to be covered up by the wood planks. For that, we're going to be using a paint deglosser. And this stuff is pretty caustic, so you should be wearing some gloves and you should protect the area around it. And we're going to be doing circular motion over the wood. And what this does is this just strips off all the shiny stuff and allows the paint to grab a little bit better. So we're going to do this for the baseboard and our trim that's not going to be covered up.
Our boards are cut and the surface area is prepped, so it's time to head back outside to paint our planks. The key here is to apply multiple thin coats to let the paint adhere to the surface better and avoid any bumps or splotches. While our boards outside are drying, we paint the baseboards and trim, and hit our area that will be covered with the planks with a quick coat of paint.
As you can see, I really barely put any paint on this, and this is how far it's going.
We let each coat set for about 30 minutes before we hit it with another thin coat.
So we're on coat number 3 here, and as you can tell, it's really starting to look like it's actually covering. We're probably going to have to do a 4th coat, but the nice thing is we're doing these thin coats. We know it's going to adhere to the wood, existing wood, really good, so it's going to look nice and smooth.
With everything prepped and painted, it's time to slap some lap. We apply beads of heavy-duty liquid nails to the boards and let the first board rest on top of the baseboard. Then we work our way up vertically and use nickels to space out the remaining boards. We also add a few finishing nails to help secure the boards, and it also adds a slightly different touch than you might see on a lot of shiplap facades.
And we're done. Cutting, painting, sanding, and affixing took us about 5 hours. And all in all, our materials cost about $45. It's a small time and money investment for a great updated look. If you want to see our material list, visit doinggooddad.com. And don't forget to subscribe hit one of those buttons.